in. Just to note, that one kill from James is actually significant in more ways than one, because you get one kill in the pistol, you full eco now, you can actually afford the glass cannon orb in the first gun run. You need one kill, though, to make it happen. So that's something, at least. The man who wanted to get the frag did get it. If he didn't, he wouldn't be able to buy the orb. So there you go. It's going to be flashes towards middle now. The Krieg for Elise. Now, he is a player that's certainly adopted, I don't want to say newer weapons, that's not correct, or the more trend weapons early on. He was playing the Krieg before it became a thing, as he shows us how proficient he is with the weapon. A couple of kills towards long. James gets another. That boosts his chance of getting the orb even more now. So that's the player you want getting all the kills. He goes down, but like you can see now, he's got 5k. That's enough for an orb and a smoke at least. Won't have any armor, but I'm almost certain he buys the orb here. And he will. So orb smoke purchased. Orgs are coming out. A couple of M4s as well. But this is where Liquid really are going to be tested for the first time. We'll see if they want to upgrade any of these lesser weapons, a Galil, UMP. I doubt it, considering they know they have financial control here. There'll be players without helmets. There's actually 3 of those. James without any armor completely. So a difficult round for AVANGAR here. No kits. And a lack of utility too. That's why Liquid are happy to use lesser weapons. There's not many incendiaries to keep them at range as the first shot connects. Nitro will be legged, and you can see James communicating there. He knows it did. Saw the blood. And now the default continues. Wanted that first pick. We know he's going to be aggressive, but unable to find the frag.
Naf still just holding it off at this point with the UMP outside from short, but the M4 picked up already for Buster. Holding out at the sandbags, wants to get aggressive. Stewie's already clearing inside bathrooms as well. Elige, this is something I talked about with Liquid yesterday as well. I said, if the AUG is in the meta, and they were saying exactly what we were kind of touching on last week, in that you can play angles and take duels formerly not available to the CT side, so therefore you don't rely as heavily on utility. But they were saying the Krieg is every bit, if not more powerful, for the T side. It's just situational on angles as well, and you could certainly play off, long with it on this map. Does too. And they said Elige loves it, he mains it, and he's going to main it this entire event. So watch out for that.
That's exciting.
He thinks he's far better off with it. Nitro's gone down to kicker. That's the AUG. The counterpart to it. He's going to look for a second one. Elige was there. He got one. Traded back by Twist. On entry, Krizen still inside the one-and-done position on the corner, but he's going to get far more than just one. Twist has to clutch it back at a 1-on-2. 18 seconds. He'll commit to the plant, and they won't jump on top of him because they're very spread out. James just wants to hold the angle toward the bank stairs. It's the flank coming in for Buster that Twist is going to have to worry about. Spots at one. Smoke down, headshot stairs. He can actually slip through this, but he's aware of the fact that Buster's likely arriving behind. Wants to watch back. Head's going to show her the flower pot instead. Buster's got it, and it's Liquid that's going to give up the first gun round to AVANGAR.
Well, there it is. It comes down to the 2 versus 1. Nice slick moves from Twist to actually get close towards the dumpster position. If he'd have killed James there, that little exchange would have been perfect, but unfortunately for him, flanked out. Incredibly difficult shot. Just the head showing from the flower bed there. And yes, the first gun round goes in favor of AVANGAR, but Liquid have plenty of cash from their Galils, UMPs there, and they've got enough to buy in a healthy fashion in round number 4. There'll be one compromise with look at things. Stewie with 2,500. That was the low HP Nitro going down and kick up. It's been a great rifler for this squad. Twists, as we mentioned in the pre-game, so much fantastic moments from him over the course of 2018. And we've got a slight technical issue here. Looks like Naf and his lovely pink mouse there having a few issues. Stewie 2K started off 2018 in Cloud9, moved on to MIBR, and now finds himself at the beginning of this year in Team Liquid. It's a scary team on paper, but I'm sure he feels more comfortable in a full NA team, and I'm sure MIBR feel a lot safer in a full Portuguese-speaking team as well. So maybe everyone will come out on top, who knows. Best of 1/3 of the day. 8 for you in total. But we're bringing you 6 of them. This is our 3rd. So still waiting for the buy from Liquid as they resolve their technical issues. But here comes the buy now. Stewie will get deagle armor, but looks at things. He's not going to be dropped a weapon. Krieg, like he said, maining. That's going to be a Elige. Now Flight purchasing up the utility as we get back into the action. James still has his AWP, and that's what we want to see him do initial damage at the start of each round. He needs to be mobile, dynamic, can see what he can do. They can't talk in this section of technical timeouts. That's why you see everyone very silent and stoic right now.
Yeah, not allowed to take advantage of these situations, and that's for a few reasons. One is the coach can't talk anymore unless it's a tactical timeout, so it's not like they can just chat with him all the time anyway, so they have to leave him muted, but also because teams formerly used to be quite cheeky with technical timeout. I don't think I've had any recent stories because of this rule set, but you go back to even late days 1.6, people, my mouse is unplugged, you give it a little kick with the foot, you need a technical timeout, you chat it out, you use it as a tactical, you kind of get away with it. So it just negates teams taking advantage of that situation.
Well, it looks like we're back underway. So like we said, one compromise, and that's Stewie 2K. The Eagle Armor for him. The rest will have rifles, no orb to be seen yet, but it seems like we don't necessarily need one. Round 4, they want to avoid damage at the start from grenades and potential snipers. Twists, not wasting any time though.
Yeah, not at all. That's what we like to see from him, get aggressive.
Yep, straight up to that fountain.
Fitch is already down on the stairs though, just to note with Kiekert, so they can turn back on that. They have information from James. Getting out. If James goes down, then it's a bit of a battle. They can get caught out too far. AVANGAR can teleport quickly, but Stewie on a pistol is going to get swung on by Kiekert. Did try and recover it. James also hit the shot on Twist. Great start from AVANGAR, and that's exactly why they designed that setup to play accordingly.
It's worked out very nicely for them. Still with those players alive in the connector. Lee's trying to pull it back at this point, but Liquid are actually dropping surprisingly at this point. We get 4 versus 2. Kicker might be on track for another, but that's a great shot from Elise. That Krieg really come into play. They still have a chance to pull this one back. Plenty of time on the clock. They're going to throw a Molotov towards the connector door there at Crizzen. That's a guaranteed frag. How has that happened? The fact he was low HP assisted, but that was mid-air essentially. Nitro brings it back to a 2-on-2 and he'll move very nimbly in towards the B side. Buster waiting on the other side. Can he get both kills here? Smartly, he falls back and makes this a difficult procedure for Elise, not giving him the trade instantly.
Yeah, he does absolutely make the right decision here, because now they can split them, play it together. James actually just takes the straight peek. AVANGAR's looking sharp, and this is what we talked about. Liquid, certainly, absolutely, no question, a favorite to go through to the playoffs. But you come in cold in a best-of-1 against a team who's looked pretty decent lately. And nothing's guaranteed, nothing's sacred at all. And James already showing off that the AWP is going to be a problem for them, as he's up to 4-2, leading all fraggers early on as well. So usually you see an op come in late in the half when the money starts to build. He's already getting the job done.
That's what we wanted to see, and he's delivering it. AVANGAR actually on track to take the lead at this point. They should go 3-2, but smoke towards the bathroom from Nitro. He's going to try and set them up as they go for the connect and presumably pop out towards middle. Smoke does connect, and will they be able to do anything with this? They have no armor, just PD-50, so I doubt it. If they can get a plant, that'd be fantastic, but it's a very difficult map to make that happen. Not if Elise is causing that sort of damage, though. The fact he's taken down Fitch so easily is surprising, and managed to get the MP9 from it as well. So, not the best pickup, but we'll see if they can make it work. Still have one flash in an HE. Nitro AV spots a player here, but can't really do much about it with the Glock.
Well back is Nitro, waiting to throw flash for Liege. At least it appeared that way. Crossover monster cleanly for now. That'll land inside of the tunnel. Buster immediately able to trade off of Elise. He did do well to find Crizzen, so at least it's a kill to add to the one they already found. Now the attack goes elsewhere, and they're hoping that they can overwhelm the 2 players on A, but there is 2. And again, they've got that corner covered off by the truck. With a gun, it's extremely powerful. It's not so much one and done, because you've got that spray potential when they walk up the stairwell.
Well, the fact they're going towards A does bode well. James there, he misses a shot. They've got a chance to win it out, but that's a big if. He misses the first, but his teammate baited in now. Can they trade him out quickly? It doesn't look like it. In with the P250 and kick up the holding position in the one and done. It will be 3-2. It was a difficult start, though. At least getting a couple of frags there, but they didn't either plant, so overall successful from AVANGAR. Here was a lead. I don't know how he made that happen, but it all works out for him in the end. Kicker, though, managing to stay alive as long as possible as James assisting him there with a P250. We go to round number 6. Stewie still limited. He had a Deagle armor before, now on Galil. Opting for more utility. Will we see an execution-based play from Liquid here? Maybe going towards B instead, seeing what's on offer.
Keep an eye on Elige as well. 8 kills already. We've swapped over machines. I think the observer radar stopped on A, so we've jumped to B. That's why we had a little sound thing, but now we're here. And now Naf is here. He's already toward the bathrooms. Correctly so. They've lost Twist in the exchange already, however, and this is starting to become a little bit of an issue, a little bit of a concern, the fact that they're not finding these picks, and the aggressive bathrooms positioning from AVANGAR looks pretty solid so far to counter off Liquid. Shadow, I think Buster just saw one. They jumped over the railing, slight shadow to show. Nitro, who had a little yawn to start things off, we saw in the pregame, does look slightly, I don't know what the word is, I don't want to say concerned, but perhaps annoyed with the fact that they aren't running away with this one early.
It was all looking so good for them in the first 2 rounds, and then AVANGAR and James especially showing up. Twist taken down early. And 45 seconds remaining. Nitro might be caught out of position there. Buster more than happy to play heads-up CS at the AK, but so is Nitro. And that'll be the Cupid, the flash forward. And this is looking very good for Liquid here. Crizzen absolutely done for, and they might be considering a save already. Now smoke out towards Heaven, and it's really down to the AWP to see if it's worth it. Kick out from the Orc. Looks like they don't fancy it. They'll be dropping back in. I think that's the right call. You have the lead right now. No point throwing away weapons. Your money isn't exactly established. As you can see, the scoreboard come through at Elige on 8 kills, doing great work with that Krieg. Twist second with 4, same story of Nitro, and James at the top of the CT side. So what do we expect from AVANGAR here? What do they need to actually win this game? They're going to need at least 9-10 rounds, I would say, on the CT side. Team Liquid always quite strong on overpass, and we're not really sure what to expect with Stewie coming in, but it looks like it's more of the same, to be honest, and maybe a bit more firepower than Taco. But the CT holds will be interesting here. Stewie be kept on a leash to fit into the system. Have they changed things up dramatically? A lot of question marks in that regard. We'll see what goes down. Round 7. Decent round there for Liquid. Weapons saved there by the CTs. More importantly, the AWPs. They call for a tactical timeout. That was the talking points of this team. They always seem to use all 4 timeouts. You're entitled to 4 30-second timeouts per map. They seem to drop every single one. They're one of the youngest teams in the tournament overall. So definitely want to get the coach involved and see what he says, what can be done as they coordinate their financial situation now. 3 weapons saved, but the others still looking quite weak. I believe they'll have to invest what they can. They are going to go for it, but it's going to be the 3 weapons and an M4 and a P250, I believe, for James. So he'll have the AWP on the floor.
Well, with that, Liquid do get back to a tie game, but James has the op still. And they did it with 3 players surviving, but also just getting into the round and getting the execution done. It wasn't like they got the opening pick still, so it's not the most convincing round for Liquid, but a win's a win. Just got to make sure they manage the economy moving forward against this very impressive AVANGAR team. So far, Crizzen as well, also as Buster, have been playing inside of the B site. They're going to stay passive this time by. Ooh, good spray. Elige tagged down to 17, and that was an audible dink. They'll certainly know they made contact onto him. They won't follow it with a nade, but they'll be calling that he's been hit. James solo A at this point with the AWP. They are rotating Keeker back over. Liquid's playing a much slower game than some of the skill that they have might suggest. We expected sort of explosive gameplay, especially with Stewie coming into this lineup.
Yeah, we can only assume it's a new system altogether. I assume like Adren made an overhaul of everything they had and started fresh, and maybe we will see a more tactical and methodical side of Liquid. Now Adren is the coach of the squad.
This is what they need, though. They need to get the map control. James misses a shot, and now they can push out toward the bathrooms because it seems like they're a little bit hesitant to take these duels, to take the map. James even throwing his head back, and in spite of the fact that it would have been a pretty impressive and almost impossible shot to hit the player jumping, he's annoyed that he didn't take it. Kicker gets Naf. It's another follow-up opener from AVANGAR. And they've already got that damage onto Elige. Stewie's tagged as well. AVANGAR looking very impressive. Liquid's just playing into exactly what they want. Fantastic shot from Nitro, though, through his flames. Behind the truck, Twist will follow it. They spot the boost. Elige gets kickered. Now we're seeing the accuracy of Liquid show up, and another bomb plant down. So slow but steady is certainly going to pay off for them, and they've got to back out. Jame on the AWP is already getting down the stairwell trying to save it. And Buster, although he was in position for the flank, he's not even going to consider going for it. He just barely gets through the doorway before he was spotted by Nitro.
That's just a nice classic round at CSF from Liquid. They know they're playing against an aggressive team like AVANGAR, who are going to go for those initial picks at the start of each round. They hold up, they play defensively, they run their default, and as you pointed out, they got decent map control towards bathrooms and long. They execute efficiently towards A. Buster, he might be going down here, absolutely will be. Nitro's aim looks absolutely stellar today, as it's just James to hold on to the orb. Not really much can be done to find a kill in this round, and you know a round's gone very well. If you execute fully, the bomb's going down with about 10 seconds to go, you're finding your frags and holding the CTs off. They're not even getting close to denying it. You know you've done a very good job in that regard. Nitro, great shots from him. It was about 5 seconds away for the plant, so actually it was a little bit dicey for them, but they win the round. That was a convincing one. James saves the orb, but I don't think they can afford much to go with it as Team Liquid edge lead just now. Round 8, not much invested. James will be making his way towards the middle area with the AWP. Look for that first pick again, this time unable to leg. But he has spotted players crossing towards playground, so that it confirms it's not a B rush at least. Got 3 HE grenades on the CT side. Are they going to wait for a commitment to a bomb site and try and drop them? Or just choose a time and try and choose a choke point? We'll see.
He's going to find one here. You just get that feeling. If he keeps going just that step further, Fountain, it's a risk. He's aware of it. He knows he's alone on A as well, so it'd be a massive risk if he goes down that early. But he certainly knows they're at the front of the bathrooms. And they're so confident in Jame that even when they had guns, okay, this time they're trying it because they've got pistols and they want to keep the op up, so they'll let him try and anchor. They did it last round as well, to be fair, where he soloed out toward long.
Yeah, if you know you're against a team that's running slow defaults, might as well send 4B at the start. The AWP feels comfortable. Overpass actually pretty fast in terms of transitions. You could have 4 towards B with one at Heaven, for example. We can get to A very quickly. And they've left A completely open here. And that's, to be fair, James got the AWP and maybe doesn't feel safe right now. Wants to go join the stack as they execute towards A. The smoke towards the bomb site. Pretty standard stuff here from Liquid. They just want to go in together as a 5-man unit. They know there's an AWP up, so they're going to use every smoke they can, all the flashes, eradicate any potential threats. And that's going to be round. A slow-paced team, this Liquid squad, aren't they? This is not traditional North American Counter-Strike at all. Like, normally it's quite scrappy and heads up, and they're playing a very slow, disciplined game. It's good to see they haven't taken any damage here. No mistakes, no rushes B. It's actually a very good round from them. If you don't find any kills in CS and you get the bomb down, it's a very good one.
So this is Liquid with 5 rounds. 3 in a row based on bomb plants, though, so AVANGAR certainly playing a slow game as well on the CT side, but keeping money up more importantly. And a lot of that probably, frankly put, has to do with the fact that they just want that op in James' hands. They want him to constantly have one because they know that, like we talked about, is going to be the advantage they have over Liquid. So don't be surprised at all if that just becomes part of the strategy. Just keep the op up at all costs.
Well, he managed to get them 3 rounds. Can they find much more? Liquid starting to establish himself financially. Stewie 2K enters this round with around 9,000. He's going to finish it with 7K, but that's 2 buys in hand really on the T side. Round 9, AVANGAR did save the AWP. They've got the AUGs now, the M4s, 1 kit. Not the best utility setup. Twist waiting for the incendiary towards shore, but that's not come in.
Twist with a nade to the barrels. They're actually just forward of that mark, so it's only going to do... Oh, the second one, though. I was going to say only going to do minor damage to Fish. The second one absolutely slaughtered him, and then Elise spraying in caught him off. That's exactly the kind of start that Liquid do need. Finally, they got a pick.
They dinged Crizzen as well, but Jame, he's answering back. That's not bad. It's going to be Stewie 2K. Just checking out the close range corners there.
And this, again, playing into the op. He's twice now been on the A side alone. They've identified that. He's managed to save. Now he brings it over to B, and he gets a pick with it. Nitro, let's see if he's come up with exactly the answer to that. Okay, you want to try and keep that op dynamic. You want to try and play it over toward B. He'll start taking the bathrooms. James going to rotate. Oh, he looked like he was going to rotate. And it wouldn't surprise me. See him going to pick at B. Start to switch back and forth, keep them guessing, rotate back to A late, but he's staying there. Just enough presence from Liquid, and that's where he'll be found until now. The rotation comes in. Has Nitro done enough to get them inside of the site? Because he doesn't have any information as to what lies inside of A. This is the slowest game, probably all major so far, to be completely honest. It's not just a slow T side, it's a slow CT play.
Yeah, no one wanted to make a mistake here. But as the time ticks down, that only favors the CTs. Naf, though, doesn't miss many 1v1 dual shots.
That's a huge kill.
Yep.
Because Keeker would have been behind them all going into the bathrooms, and that would have pinched them and pulled them away from Jame, who wants to get his op in position. Missing a shot behind the smoke. Is this what they call it already?
Yeah, I think so.
I think we're going to see this. Don't be surprised if AVANGAR, pending a complete slaughter from Liquid, they call a save every single time they're down a man in the retake.
It's a very slow-paced game, very methodical, and it takes a lot of discipline in the CT team to keep saving like this. Like, you've got Jame there chomping at the bit to get frags and get stuck in, but you've got to think of the implication there. Like, it's going to be... Go on.
Well, I was going to say, here's the one thing. He's got 3,100 now. He's going to be in range of getting an op-out, save or not, next round. So it may come to a point where they say, right, let's go.
Let's go what?
For the retake.
Okay.
If you know what I mean. Rather than save every single round. If he has one in hand, if he can save up enough, then they might just say, right, this is the one we try for.
Yeah. Well, they will be saving this round, and we'll see Jame hold on to the AWP once again, bust up. Crizin hold on to their AUGs and M4s, but Stewie, with that initial grenade, set the kill up for Elise very nicely, and we'll see that B bomb site crumble down around them. Nice plays from Liquid. Very slow using the HEs. Taking a leaf out of the Astralis book, it seems. Round 10. Still no wall on that T side, and they don't really need one. Seems like the rifles are very effective. Elise still maining the Krieg. And here comes the flashbang towards connect up. No one there to receive it. Now fly with the spam towards shore. Stop anyone pushing that position, but no damage inflicted.
He's still working down in the underpass. I love hearing myself twice. As if it's not bad enough to hear me once.
It's fixed, I think. We're good.
Either way, Stewie's still working out from the stairwell. Quick little pop flash around the corner. He went down early in the rounds, or I should say in the half, when he had a pistol. Round 4, I think that was, when they got Kickerts down there, and then they had the op up above for Jame to hold off, as so often they've tried to do. And they're still trying to go for a boost for Jame this time as well to see above the smoke, but it's now gone away, faded out. Kickert's going to try and get another one in position. One of the youngest guys in this event. We did lose our youngest, last week.
Paul Brolan.
Yes. He seemed quite distraught with that result as well.
First major, wanted to prove himself and couldn't get out of the first stage. It was very sad to see. But again, down to 25 seconds here before the execution. It's so bizarre from Liquid, but it's working for him.
It's working, yeah. Again, this is like a CIS approach from the North Americans. Good spray from Kicker. He gets 2. Flash certainly helped him in doing so. That'll be an assist. I believe Fitch, who threw out the first one, he's going to swing out himself, but Naf's got that back, and he found Crizin beforehand. Bomb to go down again on 6 seconds. They're timing it to perfection. Is this what the challenge is? Is this maybe not just playing into AVANGAR? Is this not situational? Maybe they are trying to become very slow, as you say, bringing in a Dren. Trying to change things up to catch off Astralis.
If you think about it, you break it down. If you can be efficient with this and you've got it down to a T, your idea is to bait out all the utility you can right until that last few seconds, and you're planting with an open, clean bomb site. You've dropped your utility, and at that point for the retake, they've got nothing left. It is absolutely a viable strat. We saw it for so many years in the earlier stages of CSGO. Like you said, Na'Vi, most famous for running the clock right down. But this, with the firepower Liquid have as well, is quite a daunting prospect. But obviously, we haven't seen it go horribly wrong yet. It's until you start seeing them have the games where they start losing to a timeout, 3 rounds in a row. They start to question its longevity overall, but it's 7-3 now, and it's AVANGAR who continue to save weapons. They've got double orbs going to this next round after losing 5 in a row, all to explosions. They've just saved so many weapons that they will actually have 2 orbs going into this one, and residual cash as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's very evident that AVANGAR is trying to use exactly this tactic to try and get James to be the difference at this point in time. See if the AUGs can make a difference. They did early on. Liquid, this is why I question if we're going to see this throughout the whole event. First off, it's overpass. You can certainly play it slow because the CTs kind of have to use utility and play aggressive. So that favors it. But also, they slowed it down at exactly the time that AVANGAR was getting opening picks, and now they're winning out the rounds because they're getting information. I'm curious if this is an adaptation or if this is just the new style.
Team Liquid, I reckon they'll, after this timeout, they have like a rush B or something like that. They just completely start saying, you know what, we're going out of this default, we're going to change the pace up. It won't be towards B, but it looks like it might be a B split eventually. We'll see which way it pans out. A change of pace at this point would be a lot of fun, as James does get the first kill. That's Nitro going down much earlier on.
But now they know the ops on the off site, back on A, because he's been trying to be dynamic and catch them off. They tried to go on B as a result of it, but Naf making contact does not have a liege anymore. He still is able to force Bitch out. He's lost Twist as well, but pushing through. Inside of this smoke, he gets Crizzen. He's not done. Stewie's going to go aggressive. It's Naf versus James. The man who pulled things back for Liquid and the man who started it for AVANGAR, and they're both rotating this off to A. Smart from James. He'll hold to window. This is the fastest to get the A site, and he can still see B and has the advantage with that weapon. But Naf is going to take the time he needs to win out this round. What an opposite affair that was. We go from pretty much every round going 1 minute and 50 seconds before the bomb goes down to this one just being explosive.
Well, AVANGAR called the timeouts. That's when you know they're adapting to what you're doing, right? They're going to start changing things up, so you want to throw a bit of a spanner into the works, and so far, so good. HP not really an issue for Naf here against the AWP, but James lacking information there. You can see, yes, he's in between both bomb sites. That smoke will go down, and Naf, he'll have plenty of time to reposition off that smoke and see what he can do with this.
And Naf's not foolish either. Yeah, he knows exactly. He's been a hybrid opper. He knows exactly the situation. If you're an op and you're in a one-on-one, you're likely going to be inside a window for the exact reasons we talked about. This is clever. James has a kit. He's not even close enough. Naf can't do anything. This round's over. James done just enough to pull it back, and Naf realizes the situation. He'll just stay inside of bathrooms, little smirk on his face. Yep, I got outdone there. It's 7-4. That's only the 4th round for AVANGAR. It's taken them quite a few to get back in that position as well. But that was aggressive from James. And Nitro, you're right. They wanted to change it up. As soon as he had the information the op was there, yeah, go B.
Absolutely. Naf did a great job. Just to get those couple of kills, jumps up in the smoke, and you wouldn't think he had the advantage there. He gets the headshot, comes right down to the 1v1. So yes, AVANGAR win the round, but only one player survives. Their money is absolutely wrecked. And you can see Liquid have got 10k on Twist, 6k on Stewie, and 11,000 on Naf. So they've got plenty of cash there, not a problem. If they win this round, that could be the rest of the half. That'll be 11-4 in their favor. CTs go into this with barely any utility. Buster's about to find Nafly in more ways than one, as he can take off his head as well. That's going to be a lovely shot just to open up the round in favor of AVANGAR. So the pace certainly has picked up a little bit here. Well, the advantage given, and now Twist will be smoking towards the bathrooms, and they'll go for that mid-control. We'll see if that works out for them.
Yeah, and that's where that James is this time, though. He's going to try and just hold it off with support. They haven't really done this for him yet. They haven't really played a bait and switch with him. They have gone for a boost at front bathrooms once that didn't work out. Kickert still found 2. And they have had him at long with 2 rifles in this position, but never quite like this. So they're still trying to change things up to bring that op in every single round. Flames to hold them off. Op shot came out. Oh, James just nailed it. I was going to say, I think from Nitro. So they had no information. That's where James was. 10 kills now for him. Nitro on 6 is going to go hunting to pull it back. That's going to allow Elise to sneak up long as well. They just need to do damage. Oh, gun barrel showed. Kickert knows they're there. He's got the advantage in this situation. Boost up. Do they see him? Not quite, and he fires into it. Fitch follows onto Elise. That was the one player that could have changed the fortunes at long, and it's going to be AVANGAR with back-to-back rounds. There's tons of money, though, for Liquid.
Nitro trying to remove any cash he can at this point. Knows he can't win the round, but maybe he can get a couple of kills. There's one, but at this point, 20 HP. And 9 seconds remaining. Might be better off saving. He's got 3k residual, and he's got more than that in kits, so I guess he might as well hold on. And at this stage, it looks like he will survive, no problem there. But AVANGAR, they're actually starting to impress me on these gun rounds. They're actually, in terms of the 1v1 duels, they're starting to wake up now. And Kick Up is joining Jame in double digits with the frags. And Buster, that was a lovely play from him. And Short gets the first, and then Jame continues to be impressive with the AWP. Round 13. Still not a sign of a sniper for Team Liquid. They have got a scope though, well he's still on the creek. And still a lot of financial trouble for AVANGAR. They lose this with all 5 going down, they'll still be eco in the next. So if they can win this and get 7-6, they're right back in this game. But this round has a lot on the line.
Tons. Navi went 1-0 over G2 on the other stream. That did conclude. Quite a while ago now, to be fair. Sorry?
It's a big win for Navi.
Yeah, it's a great start. Jame this time getting counted off with utility. He's focused, he'll fall back. And we're back to the slower rounds, it seems, because a minute and 14, and there's really not much established on either side. We do have Buster, I believe that is. Yeah, it is. Pushing out toward the sandbags. He's going to take over Short. Hasn't really gotten into this position too much, but it's the one round that looks like they want to make contact at Monster. Krisen sneaking up is going to support his teammate, but they'll almost have to play retake and try and hold this position. No flash over, but Elise walks directly into it. Krisen's still here. Now they know they're out there, and they get in behind. Nitro realizing the call. No one in the sight. Both got to be there, but they're completely surrounded. Smoke down a window yet again. That's the same one we saw. So it is going to be a wide open plant, thankfully so. But a Molotov down on the ledge. Interesting decision. That forces Stewie off of it because he was sitting there waiting for anyone to walk through, and that's going to put them inside the pit with not much coverage. They weren't expecting to have to go into this post plant setup. They were already moved out of it. Stewie's got to clutch it back. He's got 2. Looks for the 3rd, but Buster's got it on entry, and AVANGAR's going to find their 6th.
You can see Liquid have done a lot of homework, a lot of theory crafting at home. They're trying maybe a little bit too many ideas at one stage. You've got a massively open plant coming in. You've got a boost going on towards heaven. Molotovs raining in, and it just seems like maybe they're trying too many different options there while the bomb was going down. It left them in this really compromised position where 3 people in the same position getting wall banged as well. We missed that, but great shots coming through from the CT. Stewie gave it his best shot here, but you can see the player coming from short and was taken down. That was a massive victory for AVANGAR here. Could actually end up winning the half now as they hold on. That's going to be 3 in a row for them. But nice ideas from Liquid, like that open plant. We don't really see that too often, but the benefit that gives you in a post-plant situation is massive. They tried to boost Stewie up. Molotov landed. It all started to go wrong. And at that point, the retake was actually possible for AVANGAR. They've been saving so much. At this stage, they've actually got enough financial backing to go for some retakes.
And that was exactly the point, right? Like, we saw them save the op so many times. Finally now they're saying there's enough cash built up. They've got a couple of rounds in a row. They can take those challenges, which is exciting. A little more action-packed. Round 14. Tons of money left over for NAF and Twist, by the way, so expect that Liquid will stay aggressive on this round. No matter what the situation is late, could counter smoke just in the nick of time. They get through it, but Nitro still cops an 80, goes down to 74. Buster this time stays more passive. Same setup as we've seen twice previously as well. Jame alone, 4 in B. And Liquid's playing very passive. They haven't seen a lot from Jame and AVANGAR, so they wouldn't necessarily know as much per se that they're going to run this and going to rely on him so heavily. But other teams in this event, if they catch eye of that on this map, if they see them again, this might be punished.
Yeah, certainly good information to get on the team. Still not clear if Liquid are going to be winning this half. They got that long control again, but James there. Watching the flower bed. Players like to boost up behind this, just like that. He's aware of it. Elige, the only scope player there with the Krieg, taken down early, and Twist now trying to get a bit of intel to see if the AWP's repositioned or not. James actually still there, dodging the flashbangs. Will he nail the shot? Thinks better of the repeak. Waiting for backup from his teammate perhaps. Hear a flashbang go in. That's going to be him challenging once more. 35 seconds here. 5 versus 4 in favor of AVANGAR. It's Naflight trying to crack up in the side with Stewie, and they've done a great job so far. Isolating kicker out of the corner.
He's going to try and work it back out. Does get the bomb down. It flings forward of the smoke, but they've won the exchanges to recover it. They've got a deeper smoke as well toward the bank stairs. So Twist picks that up. Molotov's not going to reach him. Oh, I say it, and they extinguish it anyway.
Just in case.
Well, it was extinguished by the CTs, if I'm not mistaken. I saw 2 trails go in, but I thought maybe it was the CT smoke trying to get them closer. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I'd have to see that in a replay, perhaps. But Kristen's got twist either way. Trying to get away from the bomb. It's all on Stewie. 2 kills already. Wants to ensure Liquid get the half on the T side. He'll be smoked off and spotted before it bloomed. Kristen gets the kill. We go 7-7 at least for AVANGAR. They might still win this themselves.
Could be the case. This would be a massive upset. We don't really have much information on Liquid coming into this one. Haven't seen them play many official games since Adren and Stewie came through. From what we can see so far and our very limited information gathering in the first half, they seem to be much slower pace. They've got lots of little novel tricks up their sleeves, and their aim duels look great, but now AVANGAR are actually aware of what kind of play style they're up against, and they're moving Jame around and allowing 4 players to sit in that B bomb side as well. It seems like they're countering them almost. As we get into the 15th round, the final round of the first half, we didn't see a single sniper on Team Liquid in the entirety of the first half here. Don't say that about many teams these days.
Certainly not. And considering how slow they played as well, you think that an op to get picks would be part of that plan, but they're fine so far on the rifles. It's a close game, though. This absolutely has potential to still go AVANGAR's way. Kiekert's checking out to see if anyone's worked in from Monster, still with the AUG. James not gone down often either. That's the other interesting thing. With him saving and then playing around him so much, they haven't had anyone to counter off the picks.
He's died 3 times.
Yeah, 3 times, and it's 7-7. It's curious to me that if they're going to play this slow style Liquid, they don't even care for it. They don't even care to fight him. Just, he's been getting picks and not getting punished. If they had a counter op, it might be a little bit different.
Well,
certainly a different looking mentality from Liquid, I have to say.
Time ticking away once again. He's been the man himself, Jame, holding towards the bathrooms, alone on A once again. He has to patrol towards middle and long. It's actually not as daunting as it sounds. Like, usually, to get towards the end of long, you have to have a smoke at the end anyway. No one's just going to walk down there with nothing. Drops Incendiary to allow him to pick towards middle. It works out perfectly. Nitro dropped. And this is the final round as well. No saving here. Do they just fake this and go back towards B? It looks like it's going to be a pretty clumsy fake. Just one smoke in. Run back towards the site. Not very convincing. The CTs aren't buying it.
No, they're about to say, look what's already there. Fitch waiting on the pillars. Does go down to Naf. He's been excellent on entry. Stewie's got Kicker. They did cause some movement on Kristen, but even on low HP, 22. He finds 2 kills, and he's got a chance for more. Naf has to shut this down. He and Jame in another one-on-one. You're right, there is no time. Jame wins this one on time. He won the last one on a defuse, which is arguably a form of time. And it's 8-7 AVANGAR at half.
You get 5 rounds in a row at the end. They took a timeout, they adapted, and they end up winning the half. AVANGAR 8, Liquid 7. They are on the T side, however, and they'll move over to the more favorable CT side. They're still the favorites in my book. We'll see if they can close it out in the second half. We'll be right back after this break.
8-7, AVANGAR take the lead by 1 after winning 5 rounds in a row to end the half. Just to note, Liquid won 5 themselves in a row. All of them came to bomb detonation, and every single time James saved the op. They are clearly playing around the op with him right now against Liquid.
It's the best way to do it, I think. As we pointed out, and I think rightly so after seeing the half, it's all down to the fact they have a world-class AWP on the side of AVANGAR. Liquid are lacking that, so they're taking advantage of it, making sure they keep it in their wheelhouse, and he had an AWP every single gun round pretty much, James, that is. So great to see, and will it be a factor in the second half? We will find out as we get into it. 4 sets of armor on both sides. We've got 2 utility players, Naf with the diffuse kit and smoke on the CT side, Crizin with the smoke and Molotov, and you can see the stack towards the B side. Naflight going for the Tizian play by the barrels. So that idea is you look to the floor behind those barrels, wait till they like plant and run past you, and hopefully they're so focused on that boosted player they won't check the barrels for him. So that's going to be interesting to see. We get to see that little setup come into fruition. They're heading back towards B. I'm excited they do it. Watch out for Nafly. He won't challenge at all. He's looking into the floor where he can't be seen until they fully commit.
Execution's one thing on the T side, and we saw Liquid really slow it down, but aim duels are going to be important for them on CT. Certainly they touched on the AUG and the fact that they can do so with less utility potentially. But AVANGAR's aim has been something to note. Crizin's looked very good in this game. Kickert's had a few double kills. James, that storyline, we've touched on it plenty for good reason. Point is, if Liquid aren't hitting shots, AVANGAR could actually stretch out on this T side. Because I think they're going to probably play more aggressive and confident.
Watch out for Naf.
I'll check it. They checked it. Oh, they got saved. Big time. Now, oh, he nearly got a chance. Twist bailed him out, and then he nearly got the chance to surprise, as was the intent, but it didn't quite work out for them. Bomb gets planted, and Stewie inside of the smoke was not able to find Buster, so he's now holding off on Catwalk, and this is it. This is where the aim comes to play, and Kickert's got plenty of it. Nitro sliding in, needs to be careful not to get spotted from Cat. Did take down Buster. He was low HP. He's still got to do further damage, though, and allow Twist in. He's done that, but he's caught off by Bags. He gets by it. Reload, I think, required for Kickert, or he just didn't have the confidence to peek again, but low HP for both. Kit down. He's trying to play this with the sandbags to cover it. They get off it. They want to take the fight. They'll get it.
Got it.
Twist just barely.
He finds the kid on the floor. It wasn't pretty, but they get the job done. 2 versus 1. It looked like the terrorists actually had the advantage at one point, but they managed to get the kill, and that's a sigh of relief, I would say, for Liquid. They were getting run over in that round. They're trying so many interesting setups and little quirky plays like the boost and the open plant, and now this boost towards CT spawn, and then trying to bait in Naf as well, who, unfortunately for him, got checked out straight away. They found him behind the barrels, and yes, he got saved, but he was unable to get a kill, but they win the round. So the damage he did was significant at least, and AVANGAR, I like this. They are going to buy in the second round and apply some pressure here. There's only 1 rifle available on the Liquid side. They've got 4 SMGs up against 2 AK-47s, some Tech 9s, CZs, Deagles. Fitch actually leaving his money at 2K. Interesting his teammates go all in. Now they just have 1 player with money to give James the AWP. Is that the objective here? That is okay. So he drove through with the AK. I thought he found something else, but there we go. Recovers it. Maybe throwing a decoy or something at the start where he dropped his AK?
Yeah, it's possible. I didn't quite catch the full intent.
Yeah, you can hear
I can hear it, yeah.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, so he's throwing it to mask the fact that they haven't brought out a secondary AK, at the very least. Cheeky little tactic. Doesn't necessarily tell either way. Most teams will be aware that players do that, but also he might just be throwing a decoy for the sake of being annoying. He still might not have that AK.
It just goes to show, like, if there's the fact they've got Glocks and most teams with full eco this round, he's just saying at least one of us only has a Glock, you know?
It'd be interesting to see someone have an AK, throw the decoy with like a Tech 9 or something, because then it's going to say like more what we force on pistols. Why would we? I guess if it's only Glocks, I guess that's 6 of one, half dozen of the other, right? Because he could be trying to sell it either way. Stewie, completely blinded, didn't have his crosshair in the right place. Twist only gets 1. That's the AKs. Now they know they're there. Now it's a problem because Naf's forced out, but does get the bomb down. Trying to play the pillar perfectly. Use the movement mechanics of the UMP. That's what Elige does. But Buster's got him back, and it's all on Nitro in a 1-on-2 against 2 AK-47s. He finds the first. Crizin's planting. Nitro can't do much about it because of the flames. Crizin's already going to get the angle, knowing he was heading that way, and AVANGAR steal back the round.
I really liked it when we first got into that round. It's the second round force buy. Certainly a gamble, but AVANGAR are going to have to take a few of those if they want to take down the mighty Team Liquid here. What a round that was. Managing to duke out the fact they might not even have AKs there, the decoys at the start. Then they challenge as a three-man unit towards Monster. Get the advantage, get the bomb down. Sure, some decent trades come in from Liquid, but it comes down to the 1v1, and that's where they come out on top. Force buy and response coming through. First time we've seen a sniper on the CT side, or any side of that fact of the matter. Liquid have a scout in the hands of a leash. Pistols on the other players here, but an incredibly difficult round ahead of them. Done decent damage towards Buster here. He goes down to 52. And a stack towards Connector for CTs, but are taking damage and flashbangs.
Okay, Kurt. Does do some damage, but Fitch got the kill. Ultimately unassisted too, which is a bit surprising, but they'll take it. Naf goes. Liquid's getting a little bit desperate with their positioning, pushed up with these pistols in corners, waiting for players to fall into them almost. Twist and Stewie together on the side. Stewie's on 9 kills, just to note. Twist on 11. And we're saying as well that switching Twist with Taco, they play similar positions on T side. They had to make some adjustments between Naf and Twist to make room for him. Speaking of, he steps out, 2 fantastic kills and gets away as well. That single smoke down entrance side of Monster. Crimson couldn't chase him to the sandbags, and he'll double up. They've got trade potential. Another headshot. What a round so far on the CZ75 from Twists. And they'll have confidence. They know James out toward Monsters. He's tagged to 1 HP, and they've got to back off this. 19 seconds, there's really no options for them.
They kind of have to, you're right. 1 HP on James, kicker with 20. It looks like this force buy and response has actually worked out for them. Twists getting all the kills there with the CZ and actually staying alive as well. That's fantastic from him. I think Liquid actually needed this lifeline as well. As Nitro will just be checking things out with the CZ. Doesn't necessarily just want to die though, because if he does, he loses his armor. The money's not exactly strong right now. There we go. We're all tied up. Liquid the absolute favourites here, but AVANGAR showing they can go toe-to-toe with the best as well. As they make it through to the round of 16, just about. Now we'll see if they can perform in the gun rounds here. Only there's a couple of AKs though. Unfortunately, they got to force buy themselves. And it's a similar situation. 2 AK-47s, a few pistols. Smoke to extinguish the flames at the start, and the leads will drop back. Nitro, organ hand. Holding a defensive angle here, looking for the initial pick. Remember, they are slightly limited. I'm sure Nitro eventually will get an AWP, but you could see an entire game on overpass without an AWP at all for Liquid. That would be fascinating. They're still happy to play in that way.
James gonna take the AK to the fight this time. Gets Nitro easy. Good play from Elige. I thought he was gonna just step really wide on that and go exactly into the same position his team died. Subtle detail, but he doesn't. He stops 1 step shy of that, doesn't give up too much of a target, gets the kill back. How many times have we seen that lineup go against people though? So Fitch with a deagle, Elige back out to long spots, another. He'll see 2. 2 is too many because he steps wide and Buster's got the deagle shot. These guys are absolute aim stars. You can't discount AVANGAR in that way.
Yeah, absolutely. 4 on 3. Advantage AVANGAR, who recovered another rifle now. They started with 2, now have 3. They actually have more firepower, even more so now with the AUG recovered. CTs with barely any utility, trying to bait Stewie in. It's up to Napfly to cause as much destruction as he possibly can here. Timing a little bit off on the first, and it's presumably going to be the end of Stewie as well. He'll get 1. That's about all he's worth as the bomb is planted, and it's Twist rotating from the B side, hoping this nade just denies the plan, but it does a bit of damage, but that's about it.
Trading rounds, back and forth again. Twist, he still considers this? Surely not. He doesn't have a kit, and he's got an AK.
Next round, so might as well.
I suppose I was going to argue against it in the fact that you're going back and forth in rounds. He's got an AK to carry over. You could still break them down, but he wants more. He's going to go aggressive with it. He's got to make a decision now because no kit. Timer's already too far gone. And if you are full eco, the AK is still worth something, and he's trying to do exactly that. Economic damage as best as possible, so at least they have a chance to pull it back if they can win another force buy. Buster didn't find that range at 58, but Twist is going to get him. Hunts down another 3 kills. He's up to 17 over the last 2 rounds. Unfortunately, one was brilliant with the CZ and won it for them. This one was just picking up scraps.
So now if they do want to force buy, which they're going to, just by the way, he's killed everyone, and that's only $3,500 per player on the AVANGAR side. If they fully invested previously and had nothing left over, that means a lot of compromises will be made. I can see the buys coming through. Krizin, Mac 10, 4 AKs, and no smokes on 4 of those players. So they've got bare bones utility at best.
This round breaks it wide open with a slight asterisk on the fact that if it comes down to just 1 player remaining for Liquid, because then they won't be able to pick up the AKs, carry them over, and they've bought to 0 on pretty much everyone. So there's still a chance there that their money will be limited, but they'll break AVANGAR, no question, in doing it. Everyone trading rounds at this point. 2-2 to start this half. And it's been 1-1-1-1, if that makes sense.
It all slows down here. No smokes at all. Hoping for CT mistakes here. We shall see. He should be aware of the fact that all 5 players went down and Twist saved the AK. They probably were going to buy into this due to that fact. Kristen's Mac 10 could do damage there. You can see 3 players of our helmets, at least without any armor at all. They make their way towards long as well. Bomb still in T-spawn. Have Krizin is holding outside the B bomb site itself. Fitch going to come join him with the C4. Time ticking away. And how do they execute to a side? So they're going to play a contact towards A. Try and cause a rotation here. Get a couple of trades. Then walk the bomb in towards B. That's the plan at least. Wouldn't work out. They need to find a kill. There it is. Watch for that bomb to start making his way towards the B side now. Stewie's left the site completely open. Here's the flashbang though.
Nitro's got a bit of indecision on the truck. He wants to bait Naf in.
They're planting B.
Yeah, he wanted to try and not get caught out, but you're right, they're planning B. Stewie's realized that he's gone down. Just hold off at this point. I think save that AK again for Twist. Yeah, he's made that call. He got close to the window, but too little, too late. Nades going in toward him. James still off site. Okay, that's an interesting call. Spotted 2, rather than just saying, right, I've got an AK, I'll take the fight. He goes, I'll back off. And that way they'll hopefully run into him, but also they can't afford to lose guns at this point. They already saw what happened last round when they won. They lost everyone, and it's still left them in a bit of a problem. So AVANGAR is going to get 11-9. 2 guns saved from Liquid on a 2-round loss bonus. They, in my opinion, won't buy around this at all. And AVANGAR get a round in hand. So we're starting to see them take full momentum here.
Yeah, we shouldn't see Liquid buy here at all. They've got the AK and UMP, but this is where, if you start force buy in these situations, this game could spiral out of control. So they can definitely still win this and get PD50s to go with it, at least. And Twist is a player that can single-handedly win a round if he has a rifle, especially the AK on the CT side. And now they've got the UMP and Nitro. It's not a completely done round, but it's looking likely AVANGAR pick it up. They're not going to invest anything apart from a Zeus in the hands of Stewie 2K. That's about as interesting it gets in terms of purchasing.
Now,
he's boosting anyway.
Another Molotov. Bounced off the stairs, though. Bounced away. Nitro still got caught. He got burned. It was stacked, and it reached him at the last second, so it was double the damage. Molotovs do stack in this game. They distribute damage points rather than an entire area of damage, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Rather than spreading out with the flames, each individual flame kind of does damage. It's one of the reasons why the smokes for so long were bugged on them. It's because they were actually just hitting where there wasn't any damage being applied. Zeus being held by Stewie. Now this isn't surprising. We have a CIS team that's playing slow.
This makes more sense. It was surprising to see Liquid at a snail pace on the T side, planting with 6 seconds on the clock, 3 rounds in a row or so. But AVANGAR, yes, a little bit more expected. Setting up the smokes for the A side at this point. Might take the bomb back towards B. I think that might be happening. There is a stack there. It's not too deadly considering... Oh, they actually opt against it. Just going to send Grizzly in with the Mac 10 and see what's going on. Once he gets the intel here, he can give a clean call. If he sees more than one, that'll be enough. Twist is there with the AK, so that's definitely the call now. He stays alive, go towards A, boys. He's done a great job there. He hasn't found any kills, but that information is priceless. The fact he's seen the AK there and another player, he can just say confidently you can plant A, no problem.
Such an interesting game. It's not even one that you can say... On paper, it's an upset, but you can't say it's like they just caught Liquid off guard or Liquid played poor. This is a pretty strategic game so far, and AVANGAR is showing some skill.
Yeah, this is Team Liquid presenting their new look. Much slower. They've got lots of tricks up their sleeve. It seems they've been doing a lot of work in the theory side of the game. And actually, it might not suit the players as well, you know, because AVANGAR, yes, they're doing a very good job of replying and adapting to it, but we're not seeing the show-stopping plays. We're not seeing the crazy entry potential, because Liquid go so slow, and then they don't really have as much to work with, and we say that they're going to drop a few players towards the end. They still can buy here, but limited.
It may not match their skill sets, and the problem is, too, that is highly dependent on opponent in a lot of ways, and I'm wondering if they put so much eggs in, like, how do we beat Astralis? If we slow it down, we try and bait out their utility, try and get the information. The problem is they played straight into Jame and the AWP and didn't have a counter for it in the first half.
Well, that is the problem as well. So, like you said, the Orc could stay alive so much because on a long-range map like Overpass, he doesn't have to be challenged. He can just go for the picks at the start. They're just trying to avoid his bullets rather than take him down, and he can just fall back and stay alive when he has to, and he had the AWP every single gun round. He died 3 times. It was pretty insane. But it was an 8-7 half, and he only died 3 times, and he hasn't got a ton of frags, but he's certainly being impactful in the rounds they're winning. AVANGAR 12, Liquid 9. As they purchase up again, no sniper available. AK saber twists. Orgs out.
To note as well, NIP currently up 7-3 over NRG, and that's on Nuke. Apparently there's a PC swap going on currently for Ethan.
Who's CT side, out of interest?
We'll take a peek. Bear with me a moment.
Well, they're going to be playing very slow-paced CS, so don't worry about that. But yes, that sounds about right. Still could be anyone's game, but that's going to be a good one. There's another one that jumped off the page for me today. NRG looking likely to make it to do the Legends, well, the final round of 8.
Yeah, there's some people saying that they will this tournament. And there's others that say they still aren't convinced. That's within our camp alone. So there's quite a divided opinion out there. Stewie does take Crizin. That's a great start for Liquid, exactly what they needed. And that one's probably the easiest kill Liquid's achieved in a while. It's not like AVANGAR's been giving them up too many mistakes or getting into positions where they're caught out in the open as that.
Good point. You're not seeing them just walk into contacts by themselves, no trades. Here comes Jame, though.
Oh, my.
Good damage, down to 1 HP. Nitro still alive in the round, but are Liquid. 5 versus 3 in their favor. Will they be able to shut this down? Nav Khan, Elite coming in as well. As Kicker, we said to watch out for him. Here's an absolute menace on the A side at this point. Nitro still on 1 HP. An 8G, a bullet in his general direction. Everyone sneezes on him at this stage. He'll be going down, and they have not got a kit. I think they had one at the start of the round. It's over there. So they need to recover that first as Twist looks to grab it. It's going to throw an incendiary in.
I question the fact that Nitro's still alive, and I'll come back to that. He's tapped the bomb, 1 HP. He's trying to be efficient in this, and I'm not sure I agree with that decision, but Twist gets an AK, and he's going to take it to work. But watch out on top of the bomb, Stewie. Gets around the corner in time to get Fitch. The reason I question Nitro being alive on 1, he jumped out of the corner behind the truck, simply thinking strength and numbers were better. The problem is he went so defensive that the 2 and 100 HP had to take the duels. Kicker won both of them, and he can't trade. If they send Nitro first, maybe they're able to trade off of him.
That's a good point. But either way, Liquid will be winning the round by the skin of their teeth. Luckily, they had smokes there. So even without the kits, they're still salvaging those kits to the floor. They can throw the smoke down and just touch the bomb. It's going to bait out the T's, whatever happens at that point. So they're going to get the jewels they need. And like we said, we know pound for pound and a straight-up heads-up duel, Liquid should be winning, which they do there. And for the first time this game, round number 23, Liquid will begin the round with a AWP here. It's going to be in the hands of Nitro, of course. 10 frags to his name. But he is a very handy sniper as well. There you go. First time he has it, opens things up with a kill. Takes down Bust Up. And the reply now has to come from the AVANGAR side.
This is impressive on both sides. The fact that Liquid have slowed things down and are taking a very different approach. But AVANGAR, we said it in London, they're a team that's so close but never really there. I'm fancying them right now. This is a good look. I think top 8 might have their name on it. Kiekert, especially this game, has looked exceptional. Takes out Stewie again on entry. This time, they're still playing from behind, and that's a trade. Still one unanswered, and they'll go back around to get the bomb. They've got James in position, though. He's already up at long. Scoped in as well. No need really to peek this for Liquid, but at the same time, it's one of those positions that they sometimes check just for information or cross directly in front of, as Elige does. He's gone.
He's been removed. It goes down to the 3-on-3 once again. Still 35 seconds remaining as well, and they're heading towards that A site. They still have smokes, flashbangs, Molotovs. As the CTs scramble for position here, it's Nafly who's low. He's already on the site, but not for long. Nitro hits his second AWP shot of the round, and is it enough? Gets himself towards a truck, but the T's are obviously aware of that fact and looking to trade off him here.
They are, and James still up. We know how fast he is. Nitro gonna have to try and hold the angle against him. Twist his flash. Oh my God, what a shot!
Not bad.
Caught Fitch mid-air with 8 seconds left. That alone could win the round. Nitro buries into the corner, and James once again has to go back to saving the AWP.
Jumps for information, gets a lot more than he bargained for, and James indeed will save the AWP. Their money is actually in a problematic situation, I dare say. They've got a tactical timeout left, they'll use it. Nitro hitting a pretty standard shot towards A at the start, but then his teammates really come into their own. He hits a nice one there and twists with the AK. That is pretty unreal. As it goes 12-11. And this is the tactical timeout. It's not actually. So James saves his AWP. I don't think they're fully investing. Let me check. They've kept the money around $2,000. So a couple of them deagle armor, but they're not investing everything they've got. They're allowing Liquid essentially to get to 12-12, but there is always a chance that James can find a few, and it can snowball into an avalanche. We'll see.
The impressive part about that twist shot, too, is he wasn't even pre-aiming that. He flicked to catch him at the apex of the jump. Kiekert on the other pass on the stairs. Deagle in hand. He's going to try and clear out the angle, but again, it's James down to 23 already with the AWP. Kiekert has armor as well. AWP doesn't really matter for HP, but just something to consider. Certainly if they get another gun, they'll want to give that to Fitch or Kiekert. Shoulder checks from Fitch, but Liquid playing very passive, it has to be said. Hopefully that doesn't cost them, because just as we talk about sort of saving against the CT side, you walk into a stack, you don't get the information, you don't really play the default correctly, you harp on this all the time. Similarly, if you play too passive against pistol CT side, you can get overrun, because they can just march into the site with absolute velocity and get that movement mechanic to get the shots.
40 seconds, 2 smokes remaining on the T side. They're going to use them. Bank, CT steps, try and get through. Nitro, though, in position, but not for long. That's the opening pick they were looking for. Flashbang towards Elige as well. That smoke will help him out. Just going to get a little bit deeper towards long. They're not going to have time to really check that. He'll get the bomb down, and that should be a chance for the retake to come through. He might find all the kills himself. It looks like what was turning into a bit of a horrible situation there for Team Liquid is recovered by the nice positioning of Elige there. Noticing there was no presence towards long at all, he manages to just tuck himself in, wait for the plant, deny it, and at that point it is going to be 12-12 with AVANGAR with another buy available to them, but James hasn't got any cash.
Yeah, and he lost the AWP that round as well. That's kind of unfortunate. Yeah, exactly, for once. Nitro tried to bait out a shot for information. Didn't really need to. That's when James got the shot. I thought there might have been on for it, but you're right. At least excellent positioning. So Nitro back out toward the fountain. He's actually just going to hold to throw a nade this time. They don't want to go too aggressive. AK is certainly up. We know that, but they'll know that as well. They'll be absolutely certain that there'll be guns back in this round for AVANGAR. This one looks to be our longest game of the day, not just score-wise, but just in the fact that every round is going the distance.
It really is. We had some quick ones earlier, but this one will be as far as it goes. We have got James, who's made his way in towards the bathrooms here. He's only got the pistol, so he's trying to show a little bit of presence towards the A side, maybe sneak up all the way. He can't really afford to walk towards the side, though, because he's got no smoke for the end of long, so maybe he's holding for a long backstab once his teammates head towards B. That could be an option for them. There's still a minute on the clock, so they could even just fall back and join his position. We'll see. It looks like that's what the call's going to be. Head back in. The one smoke they have, try and play off the fact they have long control. And I assume they all just make their way towards that sort of side of the map. They don't really have enough grenades to actually go for mid-control on map. They have to go long, really, with the majority of their players.
James as well, you mentioned it, got through the bathroom earlier in that smoke. He was already there. That's why they take this approach instead. He's trying to lead this time with the CZ. Passive again from Liquid. Such a different game style. This is not the aggressive, flashy Liquid that we saw last year, that's for sure. And Nitro, same time, same position, goes down this round as well, because it's about the 20-second mark last round, as Elige has to try and play in behind the smoke. Very awkward position to be in, because he knows they can wrap either side. Here's them on the other side of the truck, but needs to be careful not to get rid of all of his ammo. Naf gets in behind him. He'll get a reload in position, get back out, swing in. Twist already finds the shot on James, but they've got the post plant covered off inside of the bathroom. It's a 3-on-2 in favor of Liquid, and they're going to get on the bomb right away. Still holding it, though. I don't think they're going to get away as Twist. Okay, he's got it all the way in the corner. I thought they might get there faster than that. And he's showing some style today. The second time he's killed them all after the round, this time with the win.
23 kills for Twist. He certainly is keeping them alive in these real touch-and-go situations here. It looked like he was done for, but luckily the bomb was planted in such an awkward position for them that he could actually go for the full defuse, even with his two mates dropping down. That was enough time for him to get the 5-second defuse in, and they will take the lead once again. AVANGAR have got the cash to buy, but once again, I think they have one player on a pistol. That's going to be Kicker this time, and the utility is low. This could be the storyline of the rest of this game now, as the loss bonus gets the maximum in the next round, and we'll see if Elige in this aggressive play finally starting to see some plays on the CT side from the CTs as they get a little bit more comfortable, but still they're at breaking point too. Very back and forth game here. Still not clear who will win.
Extremely back and forth. James limited to an AK, so the fact that he lost the op 2 rounds ago is still haunting them, if you will. AK's fine, but it's not what they've set themselves up for. Naf gonna try and rip them apart on that MP9. Twist as well, just to note, considering I talked to them about the AUG and they were really upbeat about its potential to take duels, to the point where I asked the question, well, if you don't need the utility, does that kind of even out the buying power that the Ts have with the lower price on weapons? That was a bit of a hard topic to cover quickly, but we touched on it. But Twist has been picking up the AK and picking that every time, still over top of it. So every time he can get one, and he's making good work with it too. He's had tons of kills on the AK this game. Because you and I were theory crafting that at the end of this event, we'll look at the kill distribution per weapon, and the odds should be well ahead.
It certainly wasn't the first stage, but this is where it really counts. When the big teams come through, the ones that are the trailblazers of the game, and show us how to be played. And here's one of them. Here's Stewie2K getting it done with the AUG, and he gets 2 kills, and that's going to be enough to confirm the round. Kick up with just the Deagle, remember. They'll give this round out. That's going to be 14-12, and they'll actually be in a position where, yes, they've got maximum loss bonus, but no plant there. They'll have 3,400 per player. Quicker with a little bit more on 4,500. Will they go for the buy? They'll at least have a timeout to discuss it. Kickout's board straight away, so that answers that question.
Think back to the start of the morning as well when I said AVANGAR, first off, have absolutely every chance to upset Liquid, given that they're coming in hot. Liquid's coming in late in this tournament. They didn't play last week. That always presents upset potential. That goes for everyone today, of the challengers, that is. But also that AVANGAR, I thought, were really surprisingly low rated by their peers and got that 15th spot. They then have to play Liquid in their first game, and they're going to be the underdog in every game going forward in the seeding system. They've got the hard road, and I think unjustly so. I think I would have probably rated them 8th, 9th, somewhere in that range with Ents and Renegades. So the fact of the matter is, any other team playing like this might be a 1-0 situation.
Yeah. Well, AVANGAR with their last life here. This could be it. They lose this round, it will be map and match points. As Team Liquid finally are using the snipers now. It's Elige who had the better spawn. He'll be focusing towards those T-steps. Throws the incendiary. Falls back as he detects a default being initiated. They're going to fall back towards B quite quickly here. Looks like they've got something in mind, maybe a bit of information, but this looks like a set piece sort of setup. Are they just rushing in? Okay, whoever's made this call, balls of steel, as they're just going to go through Monster and see what can be done.
Wow, they're going to get it. So passive. Liquid, the one time that they go fast, are not in position to counter it. And what's the call? Because you mentioned this, there's not a lot of money left on that Liquid side. Twist gets the opening kill, but that's one of 5 they need on a retake with the bomb already ticking. They've got kits on all 5. They've now got a 2-man advantage, so look for them to go for it. 2 in the window. Nades down on the ramp as well because they know they have to be burrowed that far back in the site given how quickly they were on top of the case. But Fitch, good find on Stewie, follows it. Elise goes down. Are they on the defuse? James the only one left alive at this point. Nitro's going to search for him. James gone. Nap has the kill. And the defuse on now is going to be confirmed to make it map point for Team Liquid.
An interesting one from AVANGAR there. Something tricked them or cued them into saying we're going to go in towards B and just rush through. Maybe the fact they saw a leash towards middle of an orb. I'm not sure what it was, but either way, they go in toward that site, get the bomb planted. So at least that's something. That's the headline there. It wasn't the most successful round, but they get the bomb down in the maximum loss bonus. They have a chance now of bringing this back in terms of grinding out 3 gun rounds to take us to overtime, but that's going to be some grind here. You got 3,400 plus the end of the plant, and at this stage, Nitro heads towards long. If they win this round, AVANGAR, they'd only have to win one after to break the finances. So this isn't impossible.
And if they won this and one after, you're at 14. You're looking at overtime.
Yes, exactly.
So this really is it for them. Not only to stay alive, obviously, but to get them back into it. It's not like they've got a whole lot of work. But it is a whole lot of pressure. Walk through smoke like that, James.
Not the play.
Yeah.
That's not the one.
Krisen does the same toward Naf. That's such a disciplined game from them the whole way through, especially for Jame on the op, and then
at least flash it first, or teammate a flash it if you got to walk through like that. Because not only do you give the shadow advantage, but you're also going grey screened yourself, so you've almost given him a kill. He's on the other side. Well, what a gamble that is. So walk through, there is a player there, I am dead. Didn't work out for them, and right now, 5 on 3.
A-Stream, just to note.
I'm trying to work out what's going on.
12 to 4 for NIP.
Oof. On the
T-side with the pistol. Yep. So Fitch, Kickert's Buster, trying to pull it back. Kickert's been absolutely phenomenal in this game, to be pretty clear about it, and there's why. Finds Naf. His entry has been so good, and Stewie's going to have to hold it off. Smoke down, bit of a gap on the inside of it. Stewie doesn't need to play off that. Kicker's going to go in wide. He actually gets the headshot lineup, tries to go through. Stewie's got it instead. He found Twist. He actually found Twist behind Stewie, but Stewie holds ground, holds firm, and it is now 16 to 12. The map goes to Liquid, but what a close game. And I'm not surprised. I think AVANGAR is extremely underrated in this portion of the tournament.
So 16-12 looks like it was a pretty convincing victory for Liquid in the end, but I don't